District 3, please come on up. While they're making their way up, we also have a new team of moderators. Thank you so much, moderators. And we have Dr. Dancer, who's too shy to wave her hand as well. And we have Thomas Wolraven, who's not shy. I would like to introduce you, County District 3. We have Commissioner Rhonda Markum, who's also shy, and Clayton Estus. So, Clayton, and again, you guys feel free to stand up and walk around. Sit in the chairs, it's all up to you, but I believe Clayton, you were the one who drew to go first. So, opening statements, sir.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Clayton Estus, and I'm running for Payne County District 3 Commissioner. I'm not a career politician, and I'm not a very good public speaker. But why I think I'm running for the job is because I've done the work. I haven't learned from a textbook, just like all of you. I've been out there every single day, seen where things can go wrong. I've faced the challenges, and I've found the solutions. And I'm running because I believe that our county and our district needs transparency from all ends. I think they need it when they call us, and I think they need it when we're using their tax dollars. And so, I hope to do that. Thank you.
I'm Rhonda Markum, and I am the current County Commissioner for District 3. I've lived here in Payne County for over 40 years, and this has been my home. And I'm very proud of this county. And I worked for the county for 8 years in the office as the secretary. And then the last 3.5 years since I've been here commissioner. I've got over 250 hours of county government training. I do know how the process works. And I want to continue, and I've also been trying to help a lot of our citizens fight for their property rights. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Estes, we'll begin with you. With as much detail as time will allow, please describe the job of County Commissioner for Payne County District 3.
Well, I believe that the job of county commissioner wears a lot of hats. I mean, it comes down to county policy, budgeting. So when, say budget, they got to control the budget on what is being purchased in fire departments and county municipalities, and the assessors, and then also running the crews, running the day-to-days and maintenance operations on what is being done and seen throughout our county and communicating with people. They've got to communicate with them on what the issues are. And so that really dictates coming up with a plan for the people and hearing from them to resolve those issues. And then there's, the fiscal responsibility. With those said issues, there.
Okay, Commissioner Markum, the same question. With as much detail as time will allow, please describe the job of County Commissioner for Payne County District 3.
The job of the commissioner is to, one of the things that most people know is it's overseeing the roads, but there's a whole lot more to it than the roads. We also have to oversee the budget. We oversee all of the purchases through the county. We sign those purchase orders, and we have to be fiscally responsible with our money, and where we divide our money and use that as well.
Question number 2. With distrust of government at an all-time high, how can you, as a county commissioner, provide greater transparency? Sorry, Ms. Mark. With distrust of government at an all-time high, how can you, as a county commissioner, provide greater transparency?
Well, I have, anybody can come and look at our books. They can apply for the Open Records, according to the Open Records Act, and we supply you what our budget is. We supply you what we spend our stuff on. It's an open book. There's not anything to hide. It is openly transparent.
Could you repeat the first part of that, please?
I said, with distrust of government at an all-time high, how can you provide greater transparency as a county commissioner?
So with today's age, there's a lot of platforms. I mean, we've got a county Facebook page, there's county websites, and so with these things coming up, instead of the resident having to go out and get the open forms requests and things like that, I mean, we can post those on a county bulletin. We can put those on our website on what's going on throughout the county and things like that, so they can stay more up to date without the investigation.
Mr. Estus, next question. How would you address employee turnover and labor shortage in the district? Is this primarily a competitive pay issue?
Yeah, I believe it's a competitive pay issue, but then I also believe it's an issue that starts with leadership, and I think if you can make the county a home, I mean, where the person wants to come back to every single day and give them the resources to succeed, as well as, you know, you giving them the resources, that's giving the county what they need to get what they need. I mean, if the employee's succeeding, the county should be succeeding as well. And so I hope they would take that up at the end of the day.
Commissioner Markum, same question. How would you address employee turnover and labor shortage in the district? Is this primarily a competitive pay issue?
Yes, it is. I would like to really get with the state legislature, because a lot of this is state mandated according to statutes, and what we can pay, and what we can, and how we can hire, the pay that we hire people at. A lot of people, they come to the county to learn, so then they can go out and get a higher paid job to run equipment, and that would, yes, that would be my thing, is because it is a competitive market out there, and we can't compete with the private sector with what we are tied to, for what our pay is.
Okay, Mr. Markum, back to you. Your top two priorities for the district, and specific plans as possible to achieve those priorities. Your top two priorities for the district, and as specific as possible on how you achieve those priorities.
Well, one of the first ones is the roads, how well we can take care of the roads, trying to also get to where we can maintain, and we need to upgrade some of the asphalt roads that are deteriorating. They need to be fixed before we can keep building more roads. Also, the other, I think one of the other high things is these companies that are coming in that are threatening the private landowners for their property, and it's for these private sectors, and they're trying to use eminent domain for them, and they're helping, and I will not sign an eminent domain for any of those that comes across the commissioner's desk.
Mr. Estes, the same question for you. Top two priorities for the district, as specific as possible on how to achieve those.
Really, the deterioration and failing of our county roads. Really, I think that it ultimately comes down to our ditches. I think we're failing in runoff and drainage and drowning and proper road maintenance techniques, you know, on the rural gravel roads. And I think that comes back to the asphalt roads as well. I think if we would get better maintenance, predictive maintenance schedules out there on them, I think that would be one of my main priorities. Two would be countywide public transparency. I mean, with what we're doing and what we need to be doing. I mean, it's not just, you know, I'm here as a public service. You know, I need to know what we need to be doing as well. I mean, what the people need is ultimately what we're after.
Next question, Mr. Estes, for you first, please. While it's understood that non-planned events and emergencies occur, what is a reasonable expectation for residents on non-paved roads to receive maintenance? Specifically, how often should residents expect their roads to be graded?
I mean, that really kind of depends on weather and things like that. You know, really with there's about 6th graders that should be running in the district right now. And so when you break that down per miles on how many miles each grader really has, I think it really, they should see it at least, twice a month. When I was grading, I could cover all of my roads at least twice a month. And that was around 80 plus miles, I believe, or 77. But, so, twice a month is not,
Commissioner Markum, same question. While it's understood that non-planned events and emergencies occur, what is a reasonable expectation for residents on non-paved roads to receive maintenance? And specifically, how often should residents expect their roads to be graded?
Well, he said I've got 6 grading areas. They can usually be graded about every 2 weeks. If there is an emergency, then we have to go take care of that first and try to help those people so that they're not driving 10 miles out of their way, because there is places out in the western part of the county that they wouldn't have to do that. We had some of that last summer. But for the most part, for the maintenance, it's about every 2 weeks for the roads to be graded, but they can end up being overgraded too in the summer when it's really dry.
Okay, this next question is the one question we're going to ask to the incumbent about a previous vote as a commissioner. So I'm not trying to point out, but I think this is important discussion. Ms. Markum, you were the lone county commissioner to vote against the data center pilot program. Pilot meaning the payment in lieu of taxes. Do you stand this for a 25-year deferral, if my records are correct? Do you stand by that vote? And what were your reasons to vote against that?
I do stand by that vote. I had several constituents that called me and emailed me and requested that I vote against that. The 25-year tax deferment, it's $1 billion company. There's no reason for them to get the tax breaks, and we are not giving these kind of tax breaks to the other industries around, and that's not fair. That's not right at all. And I think that that's just a bad thing for us.
So, Mr. Estus, you didn't have the opportunity to vote on that. So my question would be, do you agree with Commissioner Markum, and what would be your reasons for your agreement or disagreement?
I'd have to agree with Ms. Markum on that, but, anything more than that, I would have to educate myself a little further, and I don't want to, speak on something I don't have the proper,
All right, next question, Mr. Estes, in first review. There is growing concern regarding wind turbines, solar installations, high voltage transmission lines, data centers, etc. And in this context, the question of zoning has come up. Do you favor county-wide zoning? Why or why not? And please explain.
I think if the county voted on zoning, I think that would only, could potentially only work for one term, because on, the zone, you have a zoning commission and a board that sits upon that. And those decisions are made based upon those opinion reviewers sitting on that board. So the first 3 or however many on that board could have the, the want or the need to keep them out. Well, and, said years, if there was another set of folks up there on that zoning commission board, they could be pro, transmission power lines, data centers, and things like that. So I think it would be detrimental, but
Okay, Commissioner Markum, same question. There is growing concern regarding wind turbines, solar installations, high voltage transmission lines, data centers, etc. And in this context, the question of zoning has come up. Do you favor countywide zoning? Why or why not? Please explain.
Okay, I live out in the country. I do not want any zoning any more than the other people, and that's the reason you move out to the country. You enjoy your freedoms, and it's not that you're trying to do anything wrong, but you do enjoy your freedom to be able to do what you want to do. I respect that. Where this problem comes from is down in the state Capitol, they've not put any guardrails on any of this stuff. And so we're having to live with the problems of this. And I know there's people down there that are fighting to try to change this right now, and we need to get behind them. Thank you.
And this is a follow-up, Mr. Estus. Are there ways to address these concerns and maintain private property rights?
Yeah, and I think it would just really boil down to getting with the people down in our legislation, doing our due diligence as a county commissioner and reaching out. But then also, I think it comes down to the people as well. I mean, people really, if you want your land rights, I think you're going to have to stand up for them. And I believe that the people down there at the Capitol are also going to have to start putting in the footwork.
Similarly, Commissioner Markum, the follow-up, are there ways to address these concerns and maintain private property rights?
Well, as a commissioner, our hands are tied because the state legislature is the one that gives us our guidelines by Title 19. We don't have any right to tell the property owners or what we can do with any of that. That comes from the state legislature, and there's a lot of stuff that needs to get changed down there at the state legislature.
Okay, I'll be correct that there's one other, that might not be quite as fair to Mr. Estes, but it is relevant to the county and spending money, so I'll start with Ms. Markum on this one. The county approved using ARPA funds or COVID money from the federal government to purchase and install a radio system that would allow every emergency agency in the county to be able to communicate with each other in real time. What is the status of this project? Why is it taking so long?
Well, the status of the project is we keep getting told that it's supposed to go into effect here pretty quick. We keep hearing that week after week at our meetings. I don't know why it's taken so long. It's a big project. But yes, that was one of the largest purchases of the ARPA funds. Unfortunately, that was my very first vote coming into office. It got delayed for me. I wouldn't say that was the most proud vote that I made, but anyway, I don't know what's taking so long.
Mr. Estes, any comments on that? I actually have not done the work to see if Ms. Markum voted for it or not. It was more about information and the goals of all of us.
Yeah, I don't really know if I have any really comments on that. I would imagine just knowing little bits and pieces, there's lots of moving parts. Yeah.
We're going to make an executive decision to go a little long because we've got one more question for your closing statements, please. So finally, Mr. Estes, beginning with you, you are running to be county commissioner for Payne County. What is it about Payne County that makes it worth your name and family, that makes it worth putting your name and family through this process?
Well, Payne County's been home. It's been home my whole life. My grandmother worked for the Oklahoma State University pretty much my whole life, and a good part of her working career. So Stillwater and Payne County. I've got 2 little boys and another little boy on the way, and they plan on calling it out. My grandfather farmed ranches. I mean, it's our livelihood. We travel these roads every single day and have for many years, and to watch them deteriorate, and to also watch how fast Payne County is growing. I mean, it's growing exponentially. And that's why I believe it's worthwhile.
Commissioner Markum, same question again. You are running to continue to be county commissioner for Payne County. What is it about Payne County that makes it worth putting your name and family through this process?
Well, I've already done it once. But my boys were born here, they were raised here. My oldest one is raising his children here, my grandchildren are being raised here. In fact, my parents, they moved up here from Oklahoma City because they liked it so well. And I would also like to continue on, and I'm concerned about things that are coming down the pipe and where we're standing with our kids and stuff. I want to have a good place for my kids to grow up in.
Mr. Estus, you went first on closing statements, so opening statements, we'll let Ms. Markum go first on closing statements.
Well, like I said, I've already done this for 3.5 years. I'm the most qualified. I've already got the training behind me. In fact, I'd be in bad shape right now because my secretary's been out for 6 weeks already with the knee replacement surgery, and I've been having to help do the secretary job as well. So anyway, but I am the most qualified. I do want to continue on. I have a good voting record that I'm proud of, and I would like to see another 4 years to continue with what we've got going. I want to get another lake access grant that's coming open. It's my understanding it'll be open this next winter, and I'm going to apply for that and finish up Redlands and Airport, and hopefully Tantera Road out there. So, thank you.
Again, I'd like to thank you guys all for being here tonight and listening to me babble. And I'll just kind of leave you with this. Day-to-day maintenance in our county and our district is really falling behind. And letting those small things ride will turn into massive, expensive things. And I believe it's time to get back to the basics and really start taking care of the fundamentals of what those guys there kind of need to maintain. And we just need transparency, and that's what I believe I'll do when I'm in there. No textbook training classes or anything like that can teach a person really what needs to be going on out there with the dirt. I mean, it needs to be physical, it needs to be applied, and that's why I think I'm the right person for the job. Thank you guys.
All right, HC 33, you guys can go ahead and head this way. We are also switching out our moderators, so we introduce you to our last moderator team. We've got John Irons. There we go. And Steve George. Absolutely. Feel free to take whichever chair that you would like to take. And of course, you can stand up, walk around, sit down when it's your turn to speak. We did, of course, do a drawing on who goes first. And, first of all, let's have Representative Jenkins, and then we have Roberson. Molly, you're the first card, right, to speak first, so 45 seconds. Statements.
Good evening, Payne County. It's a pleasure to be here. I am Molly Jenkins. I am your current state representative. Prior to becoming a legislator and serving, I was an educator for 11 years. I never joined the union. I was also a real estate broker. I'm still a real estate broker. My license is inactive, and I dissolved my company, so there's no question of impropriety. My husband Brett and I are also ranchers. We have a small cow-calf operation, and land is sacred to us, and private property rights are sacred to us. I don't have a lot of platitudes and promises for you tonight, but I can share with you what I have done. I have kept my promise. I told you I would not take lobbyist money. I told you that I would not be bought and sold, and I am not. I go to work every day and I work hard for you. I'm one of only 2 representatives who has never missed a vote. I voted against our legislative pay raise, and I will continue to work hard for transparency in our government. Thank you.
Well, good evening. My name is BJ Roberson. It's an honor to be with you this evening. A little bit about me. I'm a family man. I'm married to my beautiful wife, Maria. Tomorrow is our 18-year wedding anniversary, so happy anniversary. We have been blessed with 4 incredible children. We have 2 out of the house, 2 still in the house. I'm a small business owner. I've been in small business pretty much my whole adult life in some form or fashion. For the past 12 years, I've been building my own small business, Roberson Properties. We renovate houses, we have rental properties, we buy and sell properties. I'm also a licensed realtor, and for the last 9 years, I've been serving the city of Cushing on the Cushing Board of Commissioners, and for going on 5 years now, I've been chairman of the Board of Commissioners and honored to serve in that role and help move our community forward.
start. Can you hear me? BJ, can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay, we're going to start off with a question for both of you, and since you went first, go over to you, BJ. Oklahoma ranks near the bottom of high school graduation. How do you think that as a legislator that you'll be able to help increase that graduation rate? What can you do in the House to increase that?
Well, we all know that we have an education problem in Oklahoma, and I think it starts with early childhood literacy. That's where we got to start first, and there's been some efforts to address that this year in the state legislature, and I think that's a plan we need to continue to stick to. But I think we need to continue to listen to our superintendents, our educators, most importantly parents, and figure out practical solutions how we can continue to improve our education system in Oklahoma and see that increase in graduation rate. We need to make sure that we continue to get more dollars to the classroom and make sure schools have the resources they need to provide the best education for our students so they have an opportunity to succeed in our after graduation.
I'll same question. What can we do to raise the graduation rates in the legislature? How can we help?
Thank you. Very important question, and as a former educator, I believe I have a very unique perspective on this. Again, I will tell you that I'm an educator who never joined the union. It did not align with my values, and so I did not join. I've always been independent of thought. I'm also on the Education Committee, which is a really important committee. I didn't think that's where I wanted to be, but I ended up there, and I'm grateful to be there. The Mississippi Miracle. Guys, I have been out talking to teachers. I have probably talked to 40 or 50 teachers, and they're telling me that we set that date for seeing if the kids are proficient at the 3rd grade. It's too late. It's too late. Every single teacher I have talked to. So we've got to increase our communication with the teachers. I was surprised that no teachers none of the legislators were even aware of that fact. So I will be working directly with the teachers. I've been doing that, and I will continue to do so.
BJ, some of the issues that you list on the campaign website are securing the border, finishing the wall, stopping illegal immigration. How do you plan to impact these issues in the state house legislature?
Right. Well, obviously that's a federal issue, and so just continue to support the administration and be able to work with them to support all their immigration efforts. We all know that the wall is important, stopping illegal immigration is important, and just working with the administration and funding public safety at the state level that can work with the federal government to continue that goal.
Molly, I have a question for you here. Oklahoma had somewhere in the neighborhood, I think, of 2,300 bills that did not actually make it to the floor. What can we do to maybe change that? And secondly, what would be a bill that you would like to see brought back that you'd like to try to do?
Okay, we pass way too many laws, you guys. Way too many laws. So I think that if we were to deliberate more on the bills that come through the committees, that would be a starting point. We need to spend more time in deliberation, looking at the unintended consequences. What will this bill mean for the people, not just in our district, but in Oklahoma? So I think that we need to take a closer look at the structure of how we run our committees. That's what I would recommend. And the second half would be what bill would I bring back up? And I think that I would probably bring up my illegal driver's bill. You know what? These people are coming into the state of Oklahoma. They're coming from out of state. They have legal driver's license, but they are illegal. That means they should be picked up and put into jail if that's what they are doing. So that's probably the one bill that I would bring back.
BJ, this question's for you. Your website also says that one of your issues is cutting red tape and fighting to keep local hospitals and clinics open. With the increasing number of hospitals and clinics owned by large corporations that focus on profit, what action will you take to accomplish this campaign promise?
Can you repeat the last part of the question?
with the increased number of hospitals and clinics owned by large corporations that focus on profit, with what action will you take to accomplish this campaign promise?
Well, healthcare is a difficult issue, especially in rural Oklahoma. And District 33 is very, very rural. I'm aware of 2 hospitals in our district, and we have other medical providers that provide services to the district, but we were faced with the option of possibly losing our hospital operator in Cushing, and we were able to work with them to secure a long-term lease to maintain stable medical services for the community in Cushing. But the state legislature is going to be responsible for funding coming down from the federal government, and which will also help with rural health care. We need to have representatives there that make sure that money gets used responsibly and effectively to ensure that our rural hospitals and providers have the opportunity to continue to provide rural health care service and recruit physicians.
Okay, Molly. Campaigns for state level offices has become very heavily influenced by dark money. Opposition to a candidate frequently comes at false and misleading statements against the opposite person who's running. Do you envision legislation that would curtail such statements?
The reality is we have freedom of speech, okay? And so people get to put their information out there, their half-truths, their partial truths, and they have that right to do that. I have run a very clean campaign. I punch back, but I never initiate. I won't do that. It's beneath me. I'm going to run a clean campaign. So really what it comes down to is personal responsibility. I'm going to be responsible for my actions, and I don't have control over other people's actions, but we do have freedom of speech issues, so people do get to say what they're going to say. I will say this, though, they should be registering with the ethics department because they're not. Some of these mailers that have been coming out against me have not been registered with the Ethics Commission.
BJ, I'm going to ask you the same question. What can we do about dark money? Do you envision legislation, or could we have legislation to curtail such statements?
This is going to be a boring answer, but I agree with Molly on this issue. It's a freedom of speech issue. The Supreme Court has ruled that people have the right to have a voice in politics and spend their money to try to allow that voice to be communicated in elections. And so there's very little we can do unless there's a change ruling at the Supreme Court level. But again, so we're very limited on what we can do. All we can do is exercise personal responsibility on our own end.
This question will be for both of you, and Molly will take it first. What do you believe is the greatest long-term threat to Payne County, and what difficult decisions are you willing to take to prevent it?
Well, let's start with property rights. I have been an advocate for your property rights, and I will continue to be an advocate for your property rights. It's important. The wind turbines, the data centers, the battery storage, cutting up the blades. This needs to end, and it needs to end as soon as possible. Unfortunately, there are 101 legislators, but I will continue to fight as hard as I can for you. And also, I would like to briefly mention the fact that we have a court issue here in Payne County, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that will be potentially resolved with the grand jury.
BJ, same question. What do you believe is the greatest long-term threat to Payne County, and what difficult decisions are you willing to take to prevent it?
Yes, thank you for the question. My answer is economic opportunity and prosperity. We've spent months since September of last year going across the district, engaging with voters and constituents to find out what's important to them. And one of the biggest issues that is important to them is the cost of living, economic opportunity, and economic prosperity. People are having a hard time right now because the cost of everything is so expensive. And so how do you get economic opportunity and prosperity? At the state level, it's by focusing on education, having good health care, having a workforce that's capable and ready to lead us into the next generation. It's having safe communities with public safety. and it's having responsible management of your tax dollars. That's the best way to do it, and that would be my answer. Thank you.
Following, Stillwater has a new data center that they're putting up. Do you support this project or oppose it? And will the facility increase employment in Payne County? And is it a good source of tax revenue for us?
Okay, first and foremost, I never support corporate welfare. It's your money, and I don't support corporate welfare. Now, the data centers, they're probably necessary, but we've got to have some guardrails. First and foremost, our energy. We are protecting the ratepayer. We passed a bill this last year. Now we've got to take care of the water issue. Those data centers can be run on a closed system. It costs a lot more money, but we need to be pushing on that to ensure that they are using a closed system for the water intake that they're using, because it's a tremendous amount. So I do support them. I think they would be better suited in different locations. They do not need to be in our farm and our ranch land.
BJ, this is for you. Legislative leaders at the Capitol have a great amount of control over which bills are heard in the appropriate committees or receive a floor vote. Within the next session, how would you represent the concerns of your constituents within a system heavily dominated by those in leadership?
And thank you for that question. All I can speak to is my experience in Cushing. For 9 years, I've served on the city commission, and I've been able to work with people to progress our city and work through difficult issues and solve problems and move important projects and priorities forward, even when there's a large disagreement. And that's through having a skill and ability to work with people and build consensus and find a way where you can find something that's mutual beneficial and move it forward. And if I am elected to serve at the state capitol, I'll take that same approach, that same ability to work with people, and take it to the capitol and make sure that the voices of the people of District 33 are heard, and work with people to make sure that those concerns are moved forward, any legislation that would be necessary.
You've seen the top legislative issues facing a lot of our constituents here in 33. What is your plan to address the issues that most effectively affect all of your constituents here?
Well, I think probably the hot button issue right now is property taxes. And I do believe that we need to do away with our property taxes. We need to have a plan for how we move forward with that, because it's also coupled, of course, with the cost of our insurance being the most in the entire United States. So we have a lot of issues that we're going to have to work on with regard to that, and moving forward, I'm excited to be working on many different issues, but this is one that is going to require the entire legislature. It's also going to require the governor's office, and if they want us to work with them, I'm ready to do it. We've got to get some property tax relief.
BJ, this is basically our time on this session. Would you give your closing remarks, please?
Yes, sir. Well, thank you again for having me here today. As you've heard throughout the night, there's a lot of important issues facing Oklahomans in District 33. From listening to our riveting agreement on some of the issues, you can tell that we're both very conservative candidates. But the issue here and the question for voters of District 33 is who can be most effective at the state capitol to represent the interest and the needs of District 33. I've proven in Cushing that for 9 years that I have a record of being able to work with people, being accountable, and do it with integrity and focus on results for the people of Cushing. Again, that's the same approach that I will take to the state capitol, and I would be honored to have your vote on June 16th. We've got to get my month right. June 16th, and again, thank you for your time today.
Molly, your closing remarks, please.
Thank you so very much for the opportunity to address each and every one of you. I work for you. There's a reason I don't take the lobbyist money and the gifts. It's so that I can remain true to you. And and I can support you in all of your endeavors in House District 33. It makes a difference. I will also tell you that I embrace my no votes. I wholeheartedly embrace them because it is your money. You don't need more regulations. You don't need more mandates. You know how to live your life. So my job is to try to go to the Capitol and do the best I can to represent you, not the special interest. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.